I could go back, I would do more in the art or skill of ministration, because I think that's where a lot of pastors fail, because they can preach, but they we think somehow pastoring is just the pulpit, and it's not. No. It's other things. It's taking that, like you said, and shepherding and helping, that we begin to raise up the flock. Because here's how I feel: pastors birth pastors, sheep birth sheep. Now we're good at getting people to make a decision, but we're terrible about making disciples.
Right.
And that's what we're focusing on now, is making disciples, not trying a cult or anything like that.
Right.
But some of these guys have been saved, they don't even know the word.
Right.
And it's not that we're challenging them. We know more about the blessings of God, but also the holiness and righteousness of God, that God wants to live through us.
Yeah.
And it's that love we have from the pew out here. I said, this is the mission field.
Right.
And this is the mission field right here.
I believe that. I think that's so important. Because he said, "Go ye, not come y'all."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
right.
think sometimes it's easy to get out of whack on that, and it's the easy thing to do.
It is.
And sometimes our heart can override our ability.
Yes, sir.
And it really can. All right. Well, we talked about the church. We talked about pastoring. Okay. Now let's talk about family.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about your family.
Awesome. I got 4 amazing children. I've been blessed. And we have 11 grandchildren, 2 girls and 9 boys.
My goodness.
Crop full. But we, and I think in some forms of fashion, they're all involved in ministry.
Yeah.
And because what I tried to do is keep all the problems of the church away from them, because I wanted them to know that it's about Jesus.
Yeah.
Because it's not about his crazy kids.
Yes, sir.
And when they had ball games, I know people are like, "What, you're crazy?" And I said, no, there's times I wanted them to know that my first ministry is God, and then my family, and then the church.
Right.
And I've talked to a lot of children of pastors, and they're mad because the church took them away.
Right.
And that's how they see it. But no, I said, there was times I'd not cancel. I'd get somebody else to speak on Wednesday night when my child was going to play volleyball or baseball, football.
Yeah.
And because I wanted them to know they're just as important as sister so-and-so.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's, I've met a lot of kids that just hate church, hates Jesus, because they feel like they took them or what my parents away from me.
Yeah.
And so I've done everything I can. And matter of fact, I told our praise and worship leader, which is our daughter, her son was sick. I said, you stay home.
Yeah.
Stay home with your son. That's more important than anything else.
Yeah.
I said, just, and I've told them all the time, I said, you're doing too much. Slow it down.
Yeah.
If you don't take care of yourself, nobody else will.
I think that's beautiful. And it's a word of wisdom when you do that. All right. So we've talked about family. We've talked about church. Let's talk about marriage.
Okay. I got one.
Okay. You got one. So you are married. I got it because there's we have a lot of single women. They ask questions. But anyway, let's deal with this. Tell me about marriage. What makes a good marriage?
I think it is. My wife the other day, we just celebrated 44 years and the anniversary. And what concerned me the most is she says, I don't believe in divorce, but she does believe in murder. And then the other day she asked me, Steve, can I get a concealed weapon? I'm like, wait a minute. Something's wrong with this picture. I'm too big to miss, But I think the thing is Jesus Christ, and I still date my wife. And because I found a lot of times over the years, marriages break up about 20, 25, 26 years. And I've heard people discuss that, and I was kind of questioning why. Why in that time frame? The reason why I think about it is because a lot of the children have gone, and so what we've done is we've made our children the center of our attention.
Right.
And then when they're out of the picture, we don't know each other.
Right.
We just don't know the relationship. We don't know, even though we've been married to them. But the thing that kept us together is a ball game, or that kept us together was we're doing something for the children. But then when it came down, they're gone.
Yeah.
We don't know each other. So I didn't want to make that mistake that I wanted to date. I still date my wife. Matter of fact, she's going to be coming here in a little bit afterwards, and I'm going to take her out. We're going to do the right thing. We're going to vote first, and then. But
I'm scared to early vote.
Yeah.
Okay. I just really am. I'm in my family. A lot of them have already voted, but I'm scared to death. I think I'm gonna stand in that line, and I'm just gonna do it. I want to early vote. Don't get me wrong. Every time I drive by and see those people, I think I should go in there and vote. But I share one time very quickly. But I went one time I was voting, and when I went in to vote, I told the man, I said, now I'm doing this because my uncle says I can't go to heaven if I don't vote.
Oh, no.
But I said, I know you're going to steal it when it gets up north, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to go ahead and get this done.
Yeah.
Well, all right, so marriage, we're talking about, so are there keys, you think, in a good marriage? Are there some, I know we're talking about dating. I understand that. I see that. I've heard about it. But are there some keys in here in communication? Are there keys in patience and long suffering? I mean,
all that. And that's just her part for me. You know, I heard years ago about the 80-20 rule. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? 80-20? And they described it this way: 80% of your marriage is awesome, but it's that 20% that causes us to stumble. And I think that's what we have to get to the place of dealing with those issues that aggravate us. She squeezes the toothpaste from the back. I want my toilet paper over, under. I mean, it's just little foxes that will destroy your marriage. It's not the big stuff.
Yes, sir.
And then we get dissatisfied, and then we start thinking that I can help someone on Facebook, and before long you find yourself in an emotional affair.
Yeah.
And so the thing is that focus on who you have. God's blessed you with that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing. Keep him first. That's the main thing.
Right.
And there's always going to be situations and problems that you're going to struggle with. Finances. Right now with finances, families are devastated. Yeah. But that's where we have to put our trust in the Lord.
Absolutely.
And help us.
I agree with that. All right. I understand. All right. So what we could do, and I know it's hard to do this, make this kind of commitment, but if you had to make a commitment today and say Steve Branch could do this to make him a better husband, I mean, something that you absolutely, I mean, and I know we think, and I know I could ask your children, they would tell me, your wife, they would tell me, but when you think about, if you could, this is one thing, you know, because I've got things in my life that I've focused on. I mean, I don't leave anything out when I go to bed. I make sure everything is picked up and there's not a pop can, there's not a piece of paper.
Right.
I'm real big on making sure the dishes are done. I don't want to leave anything for, I try to make sure that I don't leave anything laying on the floor. I mean, I've just started doing this. I just started taking the garbage out. I've been married 42 years. I just started taking the garbage because I moved the cans closer to the door. But I mean, if you had to commit to one thing in your mind when you think about what would make you a better husband,
I think the thing you tapped on it, and I think the thing is that work on me.